China's a threat. There's no question. You've talked about they're building a navy in space, and,
an equivalent of a navy in
yes.
space, where they are going to be able to, they are looking for dominant maneuver, dominant firepower, and dominant communication.
So what do we do as a nation? How do we respond? They're a closed system. They are a controlled system. We are a free system, or we're supposed to be. So what action steps, what things should we be doing as a society to take America forward?
Well, that's a great question, and I will. There are two things we need to do. The first thing is we, as an American society, need to play to our strengths. And our strengths are that we have a free economy and an open society. That competitive advantage makes us more innovative, because the more people you listen to, the more diverse views that you put into the mix of trying to solve a problem, the more innovative you will be.
That's why the Wright brothers succeeded when the government did not.
That's right. So that's the first, is let's keep our open, let's stick to the values that made us great, and that is an open society, a free market, a capitalist system that accelerates innovation.
Okay.
But the second thing that needs to happen here is Americans need to take control of this train. The train is a bit out of control because government is so big, and government is restricting innovation. And I'll use 5G as an example. One of the reasons why our companies are slow on the uptake here with 5G over the last 20 years is because the government took all of the components of the spectrum. You know, we know so much about the electromagnetic spectrum now, and 5G is a part of that. But the military had basically said, this area that's a sweet spot of the electromagnetic spectrum is only for the military.
The lower bandwidth.
Yeah, sub-6 they call it. It is only for the military. It is illegal for any company to try to use that to benefit the citizens of America or the world. And so there's a restriction. And now it's an industrial age restriction, because back in the day we didn't really understand the electromagnetic spectrum like we do today, and it was reasonable because it was like tons of opportunity.
Right.
Give that to the military because it's the sweet spot. Let the commercial market have all the rest. Well, China came around and said, I didn't write that rule. And so they dominated that area. And now not only are we behind the power curve and trying to catch up, but we also are crippling our companies from innovating faster.
Yeah, no, this is something we talked about with General Spalding. We've also spoken about this with Gil Amelio, who was at Apple. It's a serious issue. It's something that the American people do need to step up and say, we need this. That bandwidth that's been reserved for the military is ideal. And if we would couple our innovation with that spectrum capability, we could dominate in 5G.
We could,
and we should.
But here's the problem already with 5G. People think 5G is this infrastructure, which it is, and China's the one. Huawei sells it, so does Ericsson, Nokia, Samsung, and no American company is selling it. But China is already one step ahead, and here's what I mean by that. If the government overreacts and just starts focusing on dominating them with regard to the infrastructure of 5G, we've already missed the fact that the power of 5G are all of the things that connect to this Internet of Things. So, for example, sensors, drones, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, augmented reality, quantum, facial recognition, voice recognition, all of the things that do those things, China has already dominated the market. For example, if you try to find a drone that was built in America that is worth its competition with a Chinese drone market, you can't find it. It's expensive and it's clunky and it's just not as good. The problem, though, is that all those sensors, all of those computer chips, they are riddled in everything we have in America here.
Absolutely.
And China has the back door where they can see. Any drone you have from China, China can see what you're seeing. And they can aggregate that data using artificial intelligence to be able to see opportunity. And they're looking for economic opportunity. And they're buying up companies, they're buying up our land, they're buying up our debt, because what their game plan here is they don't want to fight. They don't want to trigger America's anger that they are stealing us blind. They want us to go out with a whimper over 100 years by becoming so economically weak we cannot fight back. So essentially they're trying to have the coup de grace, or they have already succeeded before we even wake up to the danger.